ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੀ ਹਜ਼ੂਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਿਵਾਜੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀਓ, ਇੱਕ ਓਂਕਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੁਰਤ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਰੂਹ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਤਾਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਫਤਿਹ ਦਾ ਜਵਾਬ ਫਤਿਹ ਨਾਲ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਕਰਨਾ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਮੈਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ 'ਚ ਦੋ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਹਾਂਗਾ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜ਼ਰਸ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਟਾਰਗੇਟਡ ਇਵੈਂਟ ਯੂਥ ਲਈ ਹੈਗੀ। ਸੋ ਸੰਗਤ ਦੇ ਰੂਪ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਖਿਮਾ ਮੰਗਾਂ ਕਿ ਸਾਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਹੀ ਹੋਊਗੀ। ਬਾਅਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਆਨਸਰ ਦਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ। ਹੁਣੇ just after Ardas, you heard al-Hukum. And any time I'm doing something in Darbar, I'm listening to what's being said just before, if I'm speaking or if someone else is speaking. Because what matters most is what the Guru says. Nothing compares to that. It doesn't matter who the person is. It doesn't matter what the organization is. They might be the best people around. But at the end of the day, what matters most is what the hukum of the Guru is. And the Rahal line of the hukum, as I just came and I heard, was Gursikh meet chalo gur chali. One way to look at this is, we all think we are Sikhs. Some of us might have more memories of certain parts. Some of us might even have more commitments. In our minds, we think we are all big Sikhs. But this is saying Gur Sikh. Sikh of the Guru is very different one, the one who thinks he or she is a big Sikh in their mind. Gur Sikh means chalo gur chali. Who is the Sikh of the Guru? The one who walks on the path of the Guru. Which basically means whatever mission the Sikh Gurus came here to deliver from 1469 to 1708, if you are furthering that mission, you are on the Guru's path. That's what hukum is saying to me. हर एक बंदे दे अपने लिए हुक्म को इंटरप्रेट करना, हर एक संगत दे मेंबर जो है करना वो अपने लिए। गुरसिख मीत चलो गुर चाली, and चलो is imperative here. It's a very active verb which is being used. It's being very rarely in the shabads of Guru Granth Sahib as an imperative use where you are being directed what to do. Generally you are being advised. बहुत घट आते हैं कि इत्थे कहंदा कि करो, एक्टिवली कहा जाता। So इत्थे कहा जा रहा है चलो, go walk on this path, the path which basically means the mission of the Gurus as shown to us in 239 years of the Sikh history. फिर की होंदा हैगा उत्थे गल जेडी Rahal line is, we must focus a lot on the Rahal lines because there is a story we have a narrative in there. There's a direction for us what to do. Jo Gur ka hai, then whatever the Guru says, you got to do it. It doesn't matter how uncomfortable, it doesn't matter if your friends like it, it doesn't even matter if the jathas you belong to, even they like it or not. That's what it means. That's how Pairana became Guru Angad. He had to do what was very uncomfortable. Jo Gur kahe soi pal mano. We might not know analytically whether it's good for me or not, whether it's good for our community or not. What Jathedar Jandan Singh Padrawale did, for example, we are analyzing whether it was good for us or not. But if he is following exactly what the Guru said, that's what the pala is. Aapa da pala apne samne bana liya na, pala ki hunda. The comforts of life we think is pala, not really. Pala is whatever the Guru wills. Jo Gur ka hai soi pad mano, har har katha nirali. The only narrative, katha hundi hai narrative. You always have an option whose story to further. We always have an option. Should you go by the three versions, General Barat's story is being floating in the West, or you have another version to float. ਇੱਥੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਵਰਸ਼ਨ ਸਿੱਖ ਅੱਗੇ ਕਰਨ। ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀ ਹੈ? ਹਰ ਹਰ ਕਥਾ ਨਿਰਾਲੀ, the one which connects you to the all-pervading force. That's what har is. I'm spending a lot of time on it because I draw inspiration from Gurbani. And this is what, so regardless of what I have prepared, I have to align myself with this now. The narrative which must be told is the one which is all-pervasive. Har is jithe har thaan te hai jehda. Which means your narrative cannot change whether you are presenting in front of Supreme Court of India or whether you are presenting here to the Sikh Jathebandis. It has to be the exact same message. That's what that means. Katha is what you say, how you describe things. Har har katha is that narrative, that story which has to be in the way Gurus told us. And when we walk and further that narrative, this is what the Guru likes. So I think it's very apt. I take inspiration from this to talk about what we are calling what is Sikh civil rights movement, and this is within this The main agenda is to contextualize what's generally called Dharam Yuddh Morcha. When we generally talk about 84 issues or post 84 or 47 to 84, this period between 82 and 84 gets skipped altogether. It's a footnote. Dharam Yuddh Morcha lag gaya si ji. Kisi nu pata hi nahi detail ki si ki hoya ki nahi hoya. So in larger context of today, the objective for next 55 minutes or so is, what is civil rights among the Sikhs? And how did Gurus implement these civil rights? Because that will be Gursikh chalo, kithe chalonge, jo dasya jayega, Guru di chaal ki si. So how did Gurus establish civil rights between 1469 and 1708? How did your grandfathers, grandmothers, our forefathers and foremothers from 1708 to let's say to 82, 1982, how did they further it? And how does 82 to 84 fits into this larger theme of narratives of the Sikhs? That's what I'm going to try to do. Since we are using a Western word, civil rights, we have to spend a little bit of our time understanding what does that mean. क्योंकि साडा टर्म है नहीं, थोड़ा फॉरेन टर्म है. साडे लिए ना आप सीधे लफ्ज़ पंजाबी कहते हैं हक, राइट? या ज़मीर की गल्लां तो शुरू करी दी गल. गुरबाणी जो वोकैबुलरी करोगे तो ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਆਣਗੀਆਂ ਬੇਗਮਪੁਰਾ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਐਸਟੈਬਲਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਵੇ, ਕਰਤਾਰਪੁਰ ਕਰਤਾ ਵਸੇ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਵੇ. But since this is, we are in the Western paradigm, we have to understand civil rights to ki matlab hai. Civil rights basically something it has to do with the policies state makes to provide some sort of a protection for all its constituents. So if you are a registered citizen and you get to vote in this area, then what kind of rights must be given by the majority or other agencies so you can live somewhat freely? In America we call that life, liberty and pursuit of happiness, but you have your Magna Carta from which are derived certain rights. So civil rights are, generally state provides these rights. So pehli gal main ithe karni jana, it's a little bit foreign to Sikhs. Because the Sikh theology says governments exist not to guarantee the right. Government exists to make sure the rights are properly exercised which are given to us by God. They're two different things, by the way. This is a difference between what we call French Revolution and American Revolution. This is a difference between the different revolutions of the world where governments are there to provide you the right, guarantee you the right. But in the words of Baba Banda Singh Bahadur, you know it very carefully, and I'm sure you're aware of the Persian versions. But simply put, he says everything is guaranteed to Sikhs or to humanity by the sword of Guru Nanak and the royal insignia of Guru Gobind Singh, which means Guru guarantees everything for us. So civil rights is a little bit foreign to us, but in today's context, we'll say the purpose of civil rights in Sikh context is that we don't ask government for right. We fight with the governments. We change the governments. We want to establish those governments which will protect people's rights. So there's a difference there. Government does not grant rights. Government's job is to make sure everyone's rights are protected. Ratan Singh Pangu puchya siga, when the Queen's people went to Punjab to capture Punjab, Captain Murray was assigned this responsibility by Sir David Auchterlonie, who was a colonel at the time. They asked him, how did Sikhs get a right to rule? Because the only way to rule in the world is if you are born in a divine family, which means king has a divine right, or if you are given this right by the religious personalities. So it's either genetics or what we will call in India Brahmins, or here the priests will give you the right. He said Sikhs have neither. How did they get a right to rule in Punjab? And this is where Ratan Singh Pangu and Sri Guru Panth Prakash very beautifully describes, and this is why the civil rights for us are granted to us by our Gurus. He said, Garib Singhan ko de Padshahi kinna ne ditti si? Dasme Padshahi ne, Guruwa ne sanu gurei ditti hai. So rights for us are not guaranteed by governments. They are guaranteed as a birthright to us by our Gurus. Our job is, wherever we live, whether you are in Ilford or Barking, whatever this area is called, is kind of confusing for me, but wherever you are living, the local governments, the national governments, it's your job as a Sikh, if you call yourself Sikh of the Guru, to make sure these rights are being protected. And if it means doing this in Punjab, you got to do that here and there as well. So we work to change the policies, the discriminatory policies, the other things which are there to protect fundamental rights of people. That's what civil rights is in today's context. So what that means is you have to change the law. You have to change it. You have to change the culture you live in. Because in so many places, so many things are illegal. Eventually they become legal when you fight for it. And I'll give examples of this. This involves religious discrimination and ethnic discrimination. This has to do with, in particular time, certain rights are given. In particular time, then you assume you have this right. The difference in today's world is, if something is global, we call that a human rights campaign. If it's something is local, we generally call it civil rights, which means if it belongs to only UK, it'll probably be a civil rights issue. So what I'm saying is, in this idea of civil rights, when Sikhs are talking about it, we really actually take them all the way to human rights. Because we are beyond boundaries kind of people. You happen to be living in UK right now, I'm visiting from America, those might be our nationalities. But this idea of Khalsa Commonwealth is, we are the ones who go beyond the boundaries. We are the ones, even when we lived in Punjab, we went all the way to Bombay to free those Hindu women which Ahmad Shah Abdali was taking back. Which means we have always been about beyond boundaries. So when people critique us, sitting here in London, sitting here in UK or Canada or America, why are you worried about what's happening in Punjab? Because that's what who we are. We've always been like that. We always cross boundaries. Kartar Singh Sarafa crossed boundaries 100 years ago too. So this is why you have to know your culture. This is why we have to redefine the culture we live in and not just accept whatever the culture around us is telling us. So terminologies are important, but make sure we don't just copy them. We have to look at them and redefine them. This will be our contribution to the world. Okay, enough on the definitions. When somebody says, Punjabi jiਵੇਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਾ controversial ਗੱਲ ਨਾ ਹੋ ਜਵੇ ਜਾਂ political ਗੱਲ ਨਾ ਕਰੋ, well, this is what I'm going to talk about. ਕਈ ਬੰਦੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੀ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਕੰਮ illegal ਹੈਗਾ. Well, just so you know, everything is illegal until the law changes. Several years ago, women didn't have a right to vote, it was illegal. But the policy changed, so now it's legal. I mean, America, as controversial as it is, until this year, LGBT people didn't have a right to serve in armed forces. But now they do, it's legal now. So just because something is illegal, doesn't mean it's bad. It just means the state you are fighting with has not granted that right yet. So don't get too shy away from controversial and illegal things. Actually, the non-profit world now, at least in America, there's a study out called Force for Good. It's a study of 10 most high-impact non-profits in America. And the reason they are high impact is, in their mission they write, they exist to change current policies, not just to serve. So if you think about it from that angle, and I'll get into the Guru period, that's exactly what they were after. They were there to change the existing policies. This is what Seva is. Seva is not what we just do in Gurdwara. Even if you read Sikh Hat Maryada carefully, it says what you do in Gurdwara is a training ground for you to go out in public and do this in a much better way. So, trainings learning hai na. What is illegal? Don't get too worried about what's illegal. Yes, there are certain things we must be worried about. Murder is illegal, rape is illegal. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about rights issues which are considered illegal. Don't get too worried about that. You will be put in jail. That's what they did to Guru Nanak. That's what they did to Guru Hargobind Sahib. And what did they do? It wasn't enough for Guru Hargobind Sahib to say, it's enough, you let me go. He said, no, it's not enough. I want to fight for every prisoner's rights. That's the Saki of Bandi Chhod. That's what Bhai Gurdas writes. He said it's not enough for Guru Hargobind Sahib to free him from the Gwalior fort. He says, I want every single political prisoner removed. Then I will leave. This campaign now running from Canada is everywhere. You guys should check into it. Free the Singh campaign. That's what that's about. It's about political prisoners' rights. That's what Amnesty does. And we have this not as an extension for us. We have this as part of our spirituality for us. ਸਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਰੂਹਾਨੀਅਤ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਹਿੱਸਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੁਰੂਆਂ ਨੇ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹ ਜੇਲ੍ਹਾਂ 'ਚ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ So when somebody says something is illegal, I'm just saying don't get too worried. It just means you have work to do to change that policy. That's our history and that's our tradition. Let's start with Guru Granth Sahib. Everything for us comes from Gurbani. Basic idea, you can read the Gurbani there. The interpretation there basically there are two ideas I'm driving toward. One is that we cannot sit still if somebody is being harassed. Idea is harassment must stop. ਹੁਣ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਜੋ ਹੁਣੇ ਬੜਾ ਪਿੰਡ ਨਾਲ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਹਟਿਆ ਝੂਠੇ ਇਲਜ਼ਾਮ ਲਾ ਕੇ you're putting a case on him and his wife is saying nothing was there. No weapons were there. The police themselves put it and then they videographed it. That's called harassment. You know, I was talking to Rajwinder Singh Vyas. He said earlier, he's a lawyer, one of the most competent lawyers I know in Punjab who fights for Sikh human rights issues. He says earlier, they used to do fake encounters because there were too many people to put in jail. Now they don't do fake encounters, now they do fake FIRs. That means we don't have enough activists now. But fake FIRs are real. This Shabad is saying, and I'm going to go into Guru period from Gurbani angle, that harassment is not acceptable. Sab sukhali muthiya da ki matlab hai? People must be allowed to live in peace. In Shabad, in Begumpura Shabad, it talks about there will be no stability. Kayam dayam sada padshahi when jab do manase uthe lafz likhe ne. When somebody feels like a second or third class citizen, there will never be stability. That's what happens in their homes. That's what happens in their communities. In Gurdwara that happens. Somebody feels they're not being heard. Panga ho janda. It happens in governments. This is what is happening with Sikh movements as well. And the second part, which we must pay a lot of attention to, Guru Nanak Sahib says, I stand with the underdogs. I stand with those who have no rights. He says, I do not stand with the establishment. The second part, he says, he says, I'm not interested in those who are established. He says, I am interested in those who don't have the rights. ਇਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਜੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦਾ ਚਿੱਤਰ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਦਿਖਾਓ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਡੀ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਟੰਗ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਰ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਉਹੀ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ because that's a Guru Nanak it suits us if we really will put real Guru Nanak on our walls ਉੱਥੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਵਿਗਾੜੂ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਰੋੜੂ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਕ੍ਰਾਂਤੀ ਮਚਾ ਦੋ ਅਸਲੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ This is because that's what Guru Nanak Sahib is writing in Guru Granth Sahib. We do matha teke. He says, I stand with Nichi hu at Nich. Underrepresented, unrepresented peoples. So this is the starting point for us. If you want to talk about what we are today calling civil rights, but we'll call them the larger rights of the world. Okay. So governments try to decide what is somebody's birthright, what are the civil rights and what are the human rights. I'm going to take all this, I'm going to say, Guru talks about how do you treat everyone, even the one who hates you, because we are told to become nirvair. How do you treat every single human being on this earth? 6+ billion people, 7 billion people with dignity and respect. That's the question. Even the ones who hate you. This is the question for us. It's always been the question for us. So for us, it's not a legal issue, which is what rights are, civil rights are. It is not just an international issue, which is what human rights are now, under the Geneva and other conventions. For us, this is much more than compliance to the law. For us, this is about how do you treat every single human being on this earth with dignity and respect. Because Guru works beyond time. Remember, that's the first slogan in Guru Granth Sahib. Jithe unhone kiha tha, Aad sach, Jugad sach, hai bhi sach, Nanak hosi bhi sach, which means the law of the land doesn't matter. Which era, which century you're living doesn't matter. What matters is every moment you must be equipped to treat everyone with dignity and respect. With that, let's get into what Gurus did. I'm going to just talk about rights angles now. When Guru Nanak is spending time in jail, what do you think he's doing? ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਭੱਜੋਗੇ ਇਸ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਉਹ ਕੱਲੀ ਸਾਖੀ ਦੱਸ ਕੇ ਇਟਸ ਨਾਟ ਇਨਫ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਜੇਲ੍ਹ ਵਿੱਚ ਚੱਕੀ ਪੀਸੀ ਕਿਉਂ ਪੀਸੀ he was fighting against the political regime एक बाबर के एक बाबे के we call it second guru is setting up education right you know what happened 2 weeks ago to Malacca in Swat Valley it's about education rights and Guru Angad is fighting for that then Guru Amardas Pasha is fighting for women's rights then Bolli bana rahe hain he's fighting for water rights then which people don't even get to fetch water in India even today as I mentioned the other day there's 16,000 cases pending against Dalit community the violations Colin Gonsalves Supreme Court lawyer India ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਅੱਜ ਵੀ ਛੋਟੀ ਜਾਤ ਵਾਲਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਾਣੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਭਰਨ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ today is India And Guru is doing it then. So that's water rights, women's rights, economic rights. Amritsar being developed as an economic center. You know, everything today is about taxes. Everything is about who should pay more and who should pay less. That's why all these big companies are consultancies, companies are what, they're all about accounting. And they always get penalized because they do a lot of coupling. It's about economic rights. How do you do fair regulations related to taxes? Religious rights. Do you have a right to read whatever you want to read freely? And Guru Arjan Pasha is setting up a scriptural canon. People's right. The first battle Guru Hargobind Pasha fought. You know it was over a falcon. Baj Siga. Baj ek banda si. Gal si. Where does the government right end? And where do the people's right begin? क्योंकि वो कहते सी कि बात सिर्फ जड़ियां imperial forces ने वही ले सकती हैं. And this is what it is. It's about your political rights, people's rights. What about health rights? इतने NHS की debate हो रही है तो अड़ी भी एक ये भी एक है का गुरु हर राय period दा where you know somebody who is responsible for killing your guru, somebody who is responsible for killing your grandfather, and their son now needs a medicine. He still provides it. Look at this now. Right? Somebody who is directly responsible for assassination, I will call it in political terms, of your grandfather and the guru, the leader of the Sikh nation, and his son is sick, and you have the medicine, but you still send it. This is health rights, which means it is not dependent just not on money. It should not be dependent on everyone has a right and access to health. That's what it means. I mean, this is revolutionary stuff even for 2012, guys. Because these are the debates we are involved in. Who has the intellectual rights? Guru Harkrishan Sahib is setting up. Just because you happen to be more learned, you are not the only intellectual. That's what he does. This is about intellectual rights. You don't have to be only an Oxford graduate to be able to talk about Sikhi. That's what this means. It's about you and your Guru and the level of understandings you develop. That's why Gurbani has no copyrights. How can people say कि भाई मेरा idea कोई idea नहीं हमें मारी जनता बनता अपना? It's all free. Even the best universities in the world now, including MIT in America and Harvard, they're offering free online courses. And Guru was doing this from day one. Yes, you need money. They figured out how to fund these things. We all need to figure out. But you cannot say that this is the intellectual property even only of Sikhs. That's what I'm trying to say. It's just look how the Guru is dealing with these things. Human rights, I don't need to say much about Guru Tegh Bahadur Padsha. When the Western world in Europe, they had a time called Enlightenment period. Voltaire was in prison. In prison, he was asked a question, will he defend people he disagrees with? He said, I'll think about defending with those I dissent with. He said, I'll think. Obviously, orally defend currently. At the same time, Europe का Enlightenment period बन जाता, but at the same time in South Asia, Guru Tegh Bahadur Pasha is saying, even in dissent, I will die defending you. Where have you seen that? He says, I don't agree with your Janevu, and I don't agree with your practice, and don't call Guru Tegh Bahadur, I request all of you, Hinddi Chadar. That's revisionism. Hinddi Chadar is only invented in the last 150 years. Senapath is a contemporary of Guru Gobind Singh Maharaj. In his book Sri Gur Sobha, he writes, Tegh Bahadur Srisht Di Chadar. Guru is a protector of humanity, not just a particular land. That's how Guru deals with these things. And the last, the Khalsa word, we all have our own interpretation. One thing I understand about the Khalsa is about self-governance. Call it whatever you want. Khalsa, the Arabic meaning is the one who directly belongs to the Shahanshah. In our case, that will be the Guru. Now we fight about who really is the Khalsa depending on where they come from. Really not. Khalsa is also a political word. It means those who believe in self-governance. They don't need bosses in the world. We don't know what Khalsa is. Now, if you look at these 10 ideas presented in a way of rights angle, this is what Gurus are doing. The issues we are facing today, education issues, health issues, political issues, human rights issues, civil rights issues, this is what Gurus trained us for 239 years, And what happens after that? Banda Singh Bahadur implemented it. When he had to collect tax, he did not follow the Mughal system, he changed it. He said only 25% of the land belongs for administration, 75% goes back to people. That's the Land Reformation Act, or actually Revolution Act. Religious freedoms are given. Those who were responsible for killing Chote Sahibzade, he did not touch their place of worship. Same things are done under the missile systems. Even Lahore Darbar, Ranjit Singh, whatever he was, he allowed other people to flourish. Sometimes we don't like that, but he did allow that. He himself was in the vicinity of Sikhi, we'll call it. He wasn't a Sikh model, but he is a ruler model. So Sikhs in their own ways practice these things. आज death penalty लिए ऐसे इकट्ठियां करी जा रहे हैं 100,000 signatures. Well, Ranjit Singh is a prime example. We didn't do any death penalty. So it's not something we make up when we need things. This is something Sikhs in their own way have tried to practice. Let's go to 20th century because I want to talk more about eventually Tarabiyat Morcha. Even when people were fighting for Indian independence movement, people need to understand it was primarily Sikhs. Because we are rights oriented. We want everyone to become free. And these are the statistics you can read, but more important things I want to bring out, it's not Subhash Chandra Bose who established Indian National Army, it was General Mohan Singh. There's a lot of revisionism happening in Indian history, they don't want to give us credits. Until very recently we never had a head of army in India, but under the British, or until 70s, almost 50% of the generals were Sikhs. 44% I think is the number. Which means we actually fought on all sides. Gadar Babas. Baba word among Sikhs were those who fought for freedom. ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਗਦਰੀ ਬਾਬੇ. ਹੁਣ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਾਬਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ. I don't want to get into that too much. Baba word in our tradition even 100 years ago was those who fought for freedom. I lived in a village and I did some work in a village for 7 months. The school in that village, the Gurdwara in the village, was after Baba Sohan Singh Pakhna, Gadri Baba. So Baba for us is people who free things. Asi wo galna bhul gaya. Kartar Singh Sarafa is going from California to free people. If today people want to do it sitting in UK and Canada, why do governments get upset? The first Gurdwara, I want to mention this here, the first Gurdwara set up in America was exactly 100 years ago in Stockton, California. When the Indian government people visited that Gurdwara in 1917, $6,000 were given in those days. 100 years ago, you can do the inflationary math. A lot of money back then. 100 years ago, they were given $6,000 to go spend on freeing India. But आज कोई जो freedom दी गल्लां India करना चाहता है, if they send money, how come it's illegal? Why do we get too afraid? In fact, other day I was hearing a debate in India where they said, what's wrong with sending money to India? If those who are captured by the state is supposed to provide them a lawyer, and state is not providing them a lawyer, and if somebody sends them money to provide a lawyer from here, it's actually a service to the Indian state. Or the Indian government lawyer will provide kar rahe. So don't get too afraid when you say give help, I'm sure you do, it should be accountability and everything should be there. My point is, when people say, why do you send money to fund things there? Well, because who's supposed to? Isn't that what aid is? When the government sends aid overseas, when the MSF, Medicine Sans Frontier is going overseas, Doctors Without Borders are doing it, what do you think they're doing? They do the same thing. They're fighting a government policy. And I'm saying Sikhs were doing this 100 years ago, Sikhs were doing this 300 years ago, Sikhs were doing this, Sikhs have been doing this since 1469. And I just want to mention that when we mention Indian revolutionaries, you know about Udham Singh and Bhagat Singh, don't forget people like Bhairav Singh. We don't even talk about the collective group of Babbar Akalis, who really were the revolutionary people. So people get afraid of Babbars, politics aside, I know there are issues everywhere. But Babbar Akalis were the same people. Those who were freeing India at the time, from the Sikh sentiment. So this is the tradition for fighting for rights everywhere in the world for Sikhs. We believe in freedoms of all kinds because this is exactly what Guru told us to do. 47 comes, Master Tara Singh's quote, I'm not going to spend time on 47, but this is a trigger point for us in one sense, where he says, Englishman has gone, but our Sikh liberty has not come. For us, the so-called liberty is simply a change of master, black for white. Under the garb of democracy and secularism, our panth, our liberty, and our religion are being crushed. So when somebody says, you know, Sikhs are violent people, I want you guys to understand this. No, we are not. We are also not peaceful in the way the world wants to present to us कि ऐसी कोई Jainism वांगू कोई extreme pacifist भी है नहीं. We are justice oriented. And what that means is, look what happened. He said, Master Dara Singh was saying, India has become free but not Sikhs. We just simply had a change of masters, which means the policies against Sikhs are still regressive. You guys know what Sardar Kapoor Singh had said. He basically has revealed this in his autobiography where he says, the governor of Punjab has said, exact phrase in Urdu is, Sikh ek zarain pesha qaima. They are a criminal tribe, which means treat Sikhs as criminals. This is what they do on October 10th, 1947. Barely a month and a half after the so-called freedom at midnight on August 15th. Barely after a month and a half of independence of India, they issue a circular to what now are called IAS officers, back then they were called ICS, Indian Civil Service, to go implement these orders. So Sikhs are dealing with these kind of issues from 47 onwards. Quickly, the whole India gets organized based on the language basis except Punjab, because it was becoming too wide. To get Punjab organized and recognized as a state, there's a civil disobedience movement until 1966. Let me come to Anandpur Sahib resolution quickly. Anandpur Sahib resolution asks for federal structure in India, not just in Punjab. But the government spinned it. The words they use is that Sikhs are secessionists, Pakistani agents and traitor. So 84 नहीं कहा गया, इसलिए शुरू में ही समझना क्या है. Anytime we want to fight for Indians, I'll call it, not just Sikhs, because this was about India. Anytime Sikhs have championed, whether under the British, we were also the traitors for the British, right? That's why they put us in jails. When? Because India at that time was run by British. Whether we did this in 60s or 50s, because we are fighting for India again, to make whole of India federated structure, they're still calling us traitors. But now they say we are Pakistanis. आजकल भी यही कहते हैं, कल तक KPS गिल का भी यही statement था कि पाकिस्तान दी ISI करा रही है. It's convenient for them to say it. Who knows how General Kayani will respond now, but that's a separate story. The point is, this is convenient for them, so they keep saying it. I want to come very quickly to 78 because I want to focus on this period for the next 20 minutes or so. Let's read this Indian Express report. It says she, referring to Indira Gandhi, and I'm going to use a lot of referencing now because I don't want anyone to say that I'm doing a propaganda war. So I'm going to use every reference from a non-Sikh sources as much as possible. Just to show you, this is the story which every intelligent person in India knows. We need to understand the story as well and not repeat government's propaganda. She says she wanted to weaken the Shiromani Akali Dal. So Shiromani Akali Dal, guys, until 1995 was very different. And the reason I'm saying 1995, in 1995 at Moga conference, they changed their manifesto. In 95, they made it we are a Punjabi party. From 1921 till 1995, they did an Aras al Akal Takht Sahib in 1921, and they say Shiromani Akali Dal is established to protect the Sikh interests, Sikh political interests. So this Akali Dal until 95 was very different. And look how it's being presented. Indira Gandhi wanted to weaken the Shiromani Akali Dal, but found that Akalis could not be brought to heel. She thought of an elaborate plan to strengthen the Nirankari sect. Gandhi personally gave clearance for a diplomatic passport to Nirankari chief. During Mrs. Gandhi's regime, the Nirankaris were known to be receiving financial help from secret government funds not open to audit. At the instance of Mrs. Gandhi, the Congress regime in Punjab began giving greater official patronage to the Nirankari sect. So you know when they say history repeats, these similar things happen even today. You will see there's a Vienna Khan and then there's a parallel guru pretty soon, including parallel written guru. State patronage is always given to weaken Sikhs. In our 550 years almost of history, this has happened repeatedly. And Sikhs need to be aware of this. So what's happening before Dharm Yudh Morcha is 78 Kant to Pehla, that some parallels are being set up by government when unaudited funds, this is like CIA, nobody knows their budget. Okay, so you know about the clash, I'm not going to repeat that, but there's a convention. At convention, they take out a procession. वो कहते हैं जिवें गुरु गोबिंद सिंह महाराज ने 5 प्यारे बनाए सी अज मैं 7 सितारे बनावांगा हुण अमृतसर विच आके क्या what is the purpose of that? Of course he's playing with the Sikh sentiments. The whole purpose is to disturb Sikhs. There is no other purpose. He's doing this in Amritsar. Nirankari is fire. Sikhs don't fire any. So you know, people say Sikhs are violent. You guys need to be, you got to answer that very quickly. No, we are not. But we know how to use Kripan. Because Guru told us how to. He wants us to be trained. This is what Baba Buddha did, even for Guru Gobind Sahib. He taught him Gurmukhi and he taught him how to use weapons to protect yourself. This is why in every mature democracy, in today, in last 200 years, every mature democracy in the world gives you right to bear arms because they know there are times when you need it. So don't get too afraid to talk about this. Don't act like other communities where Gandhi wangu dusra gala apna thodi age rakhna hai ki ek aur chata maro. Why? We have never taught that. That's not our system. Our system is, I know exactly who I am. And my Guru has taught us, just like the old Akalis, that if we have done ardas, we will try everything. You can beat us today, but tomorrow we'll come back and kick your butt. We'll try everything. We'll try civil disobedience. We'll try, you can torture us. But don't expect that we are weak. This is called non-violence of the strong, which means we will take everything on us, but we are very capable to kick your butt. And we will do that as a last resort because that's what Guru Gobind Singh taught us. ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹ famous ਦੋ ਲਾਈਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਨਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਇਹ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈਗਾ we will exhaust all means before we take care of business. ਹਾਂਜੀ. So the idea is we did not start the violence. State agencies through a Nirankari sect, sometimes called Naraktari, sometimes called fake Nirankari. So this is not against the larger Nirankaris. We have to be careful with that also. They also bifurcated them. And a sect was developed within them who actually fired on the Sikhs. Obviously, you know about 13 Sikhs were martyred and 2 Nirankaris were killed as well. But the point is, this is state interference in Amritsar, which is the center for the Sikhs, and totally to incite Sikh feelings. Now let's talk about what Dharm Yudh Morcha is. Very simply, there was assassination of Lala Jagat Narayan in 81. Police went, and I'm going to cover a lot of events because we don't know about these events. We think everything happened in 84. 84 was a full-out assault, and NYSF has done a great job at depicting that, so I'm not going to repeat those things. You can pick up a packet, go read other things, and there are other lectures on YouTube, other things, you can check those out. I want to get into what happened. Why is it that Lieutenant General S.K. Sinha, when he was told in 82 to go make preparations 16 months in advance, what was happening during those 16 months? That's what I'm after. It didn't happen as a last resort. What was happening in those days? Badiya events, you can read them, but I'll just give a few things here. One of the major incidents is when Damdami Taksal diyan 2 basan nu pad ke Guru Granth Sahib de Swarup saade gaye si. You know, when Gurbani says in the 6th body of Asa ki war, Satgur Vadda Karsa Laiye, jis vich vadiyan vadiyaiyan, you know when even in World War I and II, we keep Guru Granth Sahib on our head and we don't accept any disrespect. If somebody is going to burn the copies of Guru Granth Sahib, don't expect us to sit still. That's what that means. So they're doing that on purpose. They do it even now. Every few months some incident will happen in Punjab just to see whether we are still awake. Obviously we are not. What happened? There is also arrest of Jarnail Singh Pindrawala, Jathedar Rana. At the same time, there's a sacrilege happening of Gurdwaras as well as Hindu temples, because they want to now make it a religious issue, and I'll get into that very quickly. Sikhs never made this to be a religious issue. They always kept it as a rights issue. It's the government who wants to play and make it a Hindu-Sikh thing. We never did that. This is when at the same time, desecration, जो दरबार साहब विच कुछ करनगे उत्थे नाल दुर्गियाना मंदिर शुरू कराती sacrileges हो रही हैं and then Hindu organizations are coming up. The one name their name is Samiti Agia, and they were being set up to protect Hindu rights. At the same time all this is starting, right and the precursor of Taram Yudh Morcha. 1982 which there was a Nehar Roko Morcha. Why? Because they were building a canal to loot the waters of Punjab. It's a water rights issue. But government makes it a Sikh Hindu issue on purpose because it incites religious feelings. 80% of today's Punjab's water is below critical level, dangerous levels. According to Columbia Water Institute, Punjab will be a desert by 2022. And you know, when you go to Punjab, your 1 liter of bottle of Bisleri costs more than 1 liter of milk, so you know there is a problem. Punjab च दूध सस्ता हैगा, पानी महंगा, पूरी दुनिया च हो रहा. Now look at what Bollies were for. Gurus were establishing water rights back then. Everyone has a right to fetch water. Here, they were building a canal in 82 to take more water out of Punjab, and this is where the Morcha was starting in April 82. The names are written there. What is the Sikh style? We always send jathas, we always try peaceful names. He says, how are we going to protest? They were arrested. Just like in Guru Ka Bagh Morcha and Jatto Ka Morcha, they were arrested at 500s back then. Here, it was decided, Kwanja de Jathe Jange. And they were arrested as well. All factions joined protests, and this is something I want all of you to know. You know, these days when we talk about Sikh movements and rights, people get too bogged down with how many bodies you read and what you eat and how you dress. Please don't get into that. That's your house rule. Sikh movements die badi khasiyat rahi hai. They didn't worry about this when it came to rights issue. How big your dastar is, where you took Amrit, whether you have even taken Amrit, whether you even keep hair. This never used to enter a conversation as it is entering today. Look, the people we salute even today. Rajawala, did he have hair? Did Sukha Chanda have hair? That's between you and your Guru. We must be developing an environment to inspire everyone to become like the Khalsa. But we have never made that to be a requirement to join the rights movement. Including Jathedar Janal Singh Bhindranwala never made that a requirement. वो भी हर एक दिन बकरी लाके मिलते थे. And I know a guy, Jaspal Singh Dhillon, he still exists. He was the chairman of Sikh Human Rights Wing with Khalda. He had a haircut in those days when he went to go see him to work on human rights issue under Shrimani Akali Dal. So, a philosophy nahi hai. Our leaders were very clear about this. Religious issues are separate. Asi Guru naal kiਵੇਂ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਆਪਣਾ dialogue ਕਰਨਾ different ਗੱਲ ਆ. When it comes to Panthic issues, everyone joins in. This is how you know it's a movement. Otherwise, it is not a movement, it's a factionalism. Yeah? Okay. World Sikh Convention on the officially they launched, Taram Yudh Morcha, and it is actually Jathedar Janal Singh Bhindranwale. I say Jathedar because he led everyone. That's the title, political title, the one who leads. He decided it should be Sant Longowal to lead the Taram Yudh Morcha. And here is something very, very interesting. This is our narrative in Sikhi. They do an ardas. Every single faction was standing there. That we will continue this morcha until our demands are met. And I'll show you what the demands were in a second. But what happens? Those who kept fighting for it and gave up their life to defend, we question them today. Those who came out and still became chief ministers afterwards, this is where Sikh element is ardas. They did an ardas at Akal Takht for this. This is just like when Panthic Faisla happened after the 6th attack of Ahmed Shah Abdali, when Ratan Singh Mahmood described, Baba Gurbaksh Singh Niham got up, he says, I am okay with the Panthic Faisla, but somebody should stand here and defend Darbar Sahib. And 27 other men stood with him and defended Darbar Sahib. Lade bade se utte ho, in the words of Ratan Singh Mahmood. Point is, Taram Yudh Morcha is a political event. Just like Akali Dal was founded as a political party at Akal Takht, we do everything at Akal Takht. That's why Guru Arjan Pasha established it. It's a parallel throne. It's a parallel governing system. Even till 80s, we were very clear about it. And every single faction was there, stood in the Ardas. The Tanu Pata Ardas is not a small thing for Sikhs. So those who believed in Ardas, a promise to the Guru, Ajikal Sade mein dawe da roj lag rahe na, jiਵੇਂ Surjit Patar ne kiya. You have to think about what Bidawa is. When people run away from their commitment, that's Bidawa. It's not just history. Maybe we need another woman to lead, we don't even allow them to lead. We are giving way too many Bidawis. And those who gave Bidawis, they are the rulers now. You know that. State always makes them the ruler. This has been the history. Look how Dehradun was established. Doon Valley was a revolt to become a collaborator with the Mughal government. Guru's own relative did it. And Guru did said, he says, you're out of the path. So this is nothing new, this happens all the time. And what were the demands? Look at the demands and how, tell me how any of these are religious demands. Dharam Yudh Morche diyan demands sigiyan. Let Punjab keep its river waters, allow Punjabi speaking areas to be part of Punjab. Quota system in the army, demolish that, it was discriminating towards Sikhs to join army. No restriction on Kirpan, Chandigarh for Punjab, and implementation of Anandpur Sahib resolution. And look how government of India spins this even now, that Sikhs were against Hindus. That's what they say every time. And look at the demands, written demands, they're documented demands. They said, we are doing ardas to fight for these rights. We should be very clear, Sikhs have always fought for rights. We don't go to governments for religious issues, that we solve on our own. We don't hold Sarbat Khalsas for religious issues even. Every single Sarbat Khalsa in the history, until 1805 and after that, the attempts have always been about economic and political issues. This should tell us, we get together not to discuss theology. We used to get together to discuss rights. That's what Sarbat Khalsa was about, because Sarbat Khalsa is governance. Sarbat Khalsa is what the policy should be. Okay. So what did government do? They invoked what they call Section 144, what in the Western world is called right to assemble freely. So no two people can, or you can't have a meeting basically, that's what it meant. What did they do? Sikhs had hell with you. They went to Akal Takht and did it anyway. 500 jathe jande si ardas karke roz. So this is 80s guys, before 84. You know how they present us कि ਅਸੀਂ पता नहीं जी हर वेले एक ही 47 लेके घूमते रहते सीगे ते वही मारी जाते सी नहीं रखनी जरूर है. You got to know how to use it. But we didn't use it. We were very restrained. This is like Guru Har Rai period. He had 2200 horsemen. And you know when people are trained, they're dying to use it. Leadership is not using it. Leadership is restraining it. Leadership is trying every other method until you need it. And that's what's happening in this period. This we have to really, really understand it well. 500 jathe ja rahe ne. In 2 months, they arrested 30,000 people. And then there is an incident where about 34, I think, 34 Sikhs were being arrested and they were in a bus and they rammed the bus into, so they made it an accident but they want to kill the Sikhs basically. The point is government is playing with us, Sikhs are showing restraint just like Nankana Sahib, just like Jatova Morcha. He said, yeah, we'll try. Because you know, Sikhs will do ardas, that today this is how we will do it. So government knows what the ardas is. If they decided that day that they're not going to use arms, so government will use arms that day. The day at Nankana Sahib they did an ardas, today we are coming with Gandasse, bhaj gaye utari. That's what happened, that's how Nankana Sahib was freed. The Jathedar that day decided no more peaceful, today we will use our weapons. And that day we got the keys. Because they know when Sikhs are going to use it, they'll use it, they mean it. Okay. What happened in 82? There were Asian Games. In Asian Games, what happened? An average Sikh, even a decorated soldier of Indian Army, was harassed. This is what policies issues are, discrimination issues are. Here are some of the major names. These are the generals of India, the ones who so-called are the heroes of 71 and other wars. These are the ones who built Indian Air Force. Even they were stopped and not allowed to go watch the games. That should show you that whatever government was doing, they say they were doing it against the activists, they were actually harassing every Sikh. Not in 84, in 82 it started. It started with Dharam Yudh Morcha. Because they are looking at why in the heck are Sikhs leading these things. You and I should be clear, we should always be leading these things because this is what Gurus taught us. ਸਾਡੀ ਸਟਰੈਂਥ ਪਾਠ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ, ਕੀਰਤਨ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ, ਸਿਮਰਨ ਦੀ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਹੈ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਰਾਈਟਸ ਲਈ ਲੜ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਜੋਗੀਆਂ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਓ ਤਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਿਕਲੂਗਾ। This is our history. Anyway, and what happens? Until today there is no government or official apology कि ਅਸੀਂ ਮਾੜਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ even with the generals. What is happening in the neighboring state of Haryana? Daily loot and arson, GT roads, they lagatar, this is the time, I remember I was there until 86. This is the time when we would go to Punjab in summer, people actually are now starting to smoke in front of you. Never happened before this. We would slap the hell out of them. But now they're playing with you, especially in Haryana. The train will cross Sonipat, and between Sonipat and Ambala, this is the behavior you see. I remember, I was 10. Lot of things are happening, dishonoring women, lootings, Gurdwara to band kar dena, Guru Granth Sahib di Veena to band karna, provocative statements all over India. This is happening in state next to India, where, by the way, they abolished Punjabi and they said the second language is Tamil. And Haryana was Punjab until 66. So obviously they are playing with you. That's what they're after. So Dharam Yudh Morcha jab ek peak te aana shuru ho gaya, Akalis also resigned, 3 MPs and 37 MLAs. There were lots of these ROCOs are basically strikes. There were lots of strikes going on. Paramilitary forces were used in Malerkotla. And look what the opposition party in India said. This is not Sikhs saying. Look, even Vajpayee made a statement. I'm not saying that he's a sympathizer of Sikhs, but the point is, they were observing this also. And he said, we are shocked by the devastation in Malerkotla and Kupkala. 84 is not a Hadsa or event. It is actually a full-out strike based on what was going on before that. Harkishan Singh Surjit, who you know has very few Sikh sensibilities, even he said, excesses committed by the police were heart-rending. So point is that, you know what they call, in the governments and in the projects, we now say, let's do a pilot project to see how to do things. These are the pilot projects before 84's full assault. Okay. Then there is assassination attempt. I don't know how many of you know on Jathedar Jagdal Singh Bhindranwale. So you know, when now they're after killing you, you are going to be more prepared. So you'll see when the arming starts really. And here is the attempt. Of course, their intelligence really sucks because he wasn't even in the convoy. But they thought he was in the convoy. They used a rocket. How do you get a rocket? Police doesn't have a rocket. So they already started using an army to blow up the convoy. One Sikh was killed, driver was killed. But Jathedar Bhindranwale escaped. He wasn't part of the convoy. So there was assassination attempt on him. Now you have to understand, he is, whether you like him or not is not the issue here. Issue is, he is leading the Sikh cause. He is, I am saying, leading the Indian cause. Look at the demands of Dharam Yudh Morcha. He is fighting for what we will today say, rights of 1.2 billion people. And obviously the superstructures don't like it. So they want to eliminate him. They're going to start stories on him. They're going to create so many confusions about him. They're going to play with religious issues, political issues, social issues, family issues. That's why he's known to say certain things about whether to trust his family or not. All those things come into play. Then there is a major assassination of one of the Sikh leaders, Kulwant Singh Nagoke. And a lot of things changed after that. I mean, you can read there, one of the DSP, I think his name is Bachan Singh. That's probably the first time where Sikhs got militant. And this is late 82, right? Jasbir Singh actually pitli modla ho gaya. Ithe dekho ki ho raha, forceful cutting of the hair, putting tobacco on his face. This is what Arya Samaj used to do before Singh Sabha period. When they used to do Shuddhis, which means cleansing, they used to publicly line up young Sikhs and cut their hair in public as an embarrassment. And that means now they are purified. That's what it used to mean. Now you're back to being a Hindu. And similar things are being started. There's another person written, a sub-inspector, Bachuram, I think he did certain things. But let me come to Surya magazine now, because there were lots of reporting about Sikhs are using a lot of terrorism, they're blowing up stations. I don't know if you guys remember those. Here is the context of that. Surya magazine in September 84 issue has written this: we focus on pre-Blue Star Punjab, which means before June 1984. The third agency assignment was to aid and abet the murders and killings in Punjab. The third agencies kept the supply of lethal weapons flowing into the temple. Even General Barar, who is lying out of his mouth, he goes inside Darbar Sahib 2 days, 3 days before the attack. He says that people weren't being allowed to go, but he freely walked. Who stopped him? He's lying. Who was supplying the weapon? It's the government. The third agency allowed 47 railway stations to be blown up. Just like आजकल न्यूज़ लगती है ना पंजाब में किसी ने भी फड़ना हुआ कहते हैं ना RDX मिलेगा. I mean, how are you going to check? And every time it's RDX, which basically means two things, that they really don't know how to control RDX. It's actually about, it's really stupid if you think about it. Their intelligence really sucks. In the kgs RDX se kitho aa rahe hain? Anyway, I don't want to get into that. Point is, third agency did this. Third agency incited violence in Punjab. And for their gallant roles, senior officer of the third agency have been rewarded with police medals and prize for postings. So point is, Surya magazine has printed this, that before 1984 June, between 82 and 84, when Sikhs did an ardas, they knew they were serious. Government knew some will be serious. सारे बंदे तो नहीं खड़े ardas ते भी. लकीर खिंचण तो बाद कई तो मुड़ भी जाते हैं. वो होया भी है. But government knew they are serious, that they are actually going to fight for people's rights. So this is what they started. This is what government's infiltration is. And then Marjeevda forces started. Sikh vocabulary. We are not looking to become free after death. This is what Gurbani teaches us. We are looking to become free now. That's what Marjeevda means. And what do? Volunteer corps. And this is an important number, guys. 100,000 people volunteered. Within between February and May. 3 महीनों में चंदे बंदे इकट्ठे हो गए. So you know, government now, I mean, just imagine if 100,000 people joined a volunteer force. So this is not a fringe movement. These are not fanatics. This is a popular movement. This is what government says today. That this movement was, I mean, थोड़े जे ना खाड़कू जे बंदे इकट्ठे हो गए सी. And this is not even 84 yet. People are like, no, this is serious problem. 100,000 people agreed. Gandhi actually has a statement saying she accepts religious demands of Akalis, but I don't want to get into that. But let me quote you a local paper, because maybe that might be more relevant to you guys. Let's read this carefully. All through the tangle in Punjab, the government has preferred to talk religion instead of economics and politics. You see what's going on? Government wants to make it a religious issue, their economic and political issues. In its dealings with the Akali Party, which represents the interests of the Punjabi peasants and farmers, the majority of whom are Sikhs. The farmers say, give us more of our own river waters to irrigate our fields, or refer the matters to the Supreme Court. So Punjabi कह रहे थे कि या तो साडा पानी ना लो या Supreme Court ते लड़न दो. I mean, look at it, it's very fair. They're not saying give us anything free. He's like, stop the looting or let's fight at a legal battle. And what is government saying? The government replies, we allow you to broadcast religious music over all India radio. What the hell is that? We are saying it's an economic issue. कहते तुसी चलो ट्रांसमीटर ला लो गुरबानी सुना दिया करो थोड़ी. I mean, it's basically they're laughing at us. That's what it means. As for the water, we shall appoint a tribunal to give a ruling on the dispute. Tribunal तो उन्होंने अपने होते थे, which basically in India when they set up committee, it basically means it's a delay mechanism. The Akalis say Chandigarh, which happens to be in the heart of Punjab, should not have to be shared as a capital with neighbouring Haryana. The government retorts, but how can we persuade the government of Haryana to agree? Well, that's your job. You are sent the government. The Akalis say that Punjab and other states throughout India should be given greater economic power. You see, Punjab and other, all of India. And allowed to manage their own affairs. New Delhi reports, this is a talk of succession. It must be inspired by a foreign power. It's just total game playing. But how many people at the time knew this? Even now, how many of you know that this report existed in The Guardian? You have to be very, very careful with the propaganda war out there. They announced president's rules, which basically means none of the Punjab issues matter anymore. It's going to be central rule in 83 of October. October 83 is very important. This is the time when some of the senior IAS officers start to resign because information is being leaked that something is wrong. This is the time Sardar Gurtej Singh IAS resigns. He does not resign in June 84. He resigns in October 83. This is the reason. Because when you suspend a local law and order and you create emergency, which by the way is a code, then the central government will just go all out. You know something is going wrong. Punjab Bandh hota, fir bhi 6 protests, it's peaceful. But look, there's a counter bandh started by Hindu Suraksha Samiti They basically do it all over the things. They target violence against Sikhs for 3 days. They create a replica of Harmandir Sahib at a railway station and they break it. And they damage Guru Ramdas Sahib's picture at the railway station with the cigarette butts. So what does that really mean? You know what that means. They know Sikhs don't like cigarettes. They know we are anti-stuff. So they're playing with the emotions of the Sikhs now. So they want us to, they're agitating us. But we are still restrained. That's the point. Look what's being tried. This is like, I mean, you know, we are looking for Guru Arjan today. Well, these were the Guru Arjans I would come with, because this is what's Pat's right now. Why did we salute Guru Arjan? Because he became just like God. Guru Arjan Pratakhar. Because when he's being violated, he's like, try all you can. I will resort, I will come back. But today I have decided you can try all you want. So we don't take insults. And this is why when Indian government came down to insulting us, Sikhs started fighting back. We can take torture, we can take regression, we will not take insults. That's part of the Sikh character from the Guru days. They've never taken insult. Chandu wanted to insult Guru Arjan Sahib. He says, this is why Guru never came back. Insult nahi assi lande. We can take torture. There are two different things. Okay. Tarham Yudh Morcha, they roughly, this is what Indian Express says, I don't know how true or not, but they say about 200 people were killed. And you can see the ratio, 190 were Sikhs and 30s were Hindus. Let's come back to Guardian again, since I'm speaking of London, I'll give you local references. Ever since the Prime Minister Indira Gandhi returned to power in 1980, New Delhi has kept alive a crisis in Punjab. Look at what it's saying. New Delhi has kept alive a crisis in Punjab. Not Sikhs. To achieve 3 questionable objectives. Why is government doing this? We ask this question. Kyun kar rahi hai sarkar hai? Here is what Guardian writes. To oust the Akali-led coalition state government of 77 to 80, to present a legitimate constitutional settlement of Punjab's territorial, river waters and other political and economic disputes with the center, and finally, this is the most important, to forge a psychological wedge between Hindus and Sikhs. Guess what? They succeeded. Because we, Sikhs, need to be more vigilant to what Ek Oankar through Guru Prasad is. We are the believers of Nirvair. We don't have an issue with a Hindu. They might have an issue with us. We have issues with the policies they support. So we should be fighting the policy. We should be fighting with those who are implementing those policies. We don't care if they look like a Sikh or a Hindu or a Christian, because all three did it, or a Muslim. Rubero bhi reha DGP. Sumedh Saini bhi hun hega. Alam bhi karta raha hai kam. So actually we fight with all of them. Why are we is not an issue of Hindu-Sikh with us. We fight with anyone who is implementing regressive and discriminatory policies against Sikhs. And this is our history. It is that. But government wanted to make it a Hindu-Sikh wedge, and they succeeded for a large part. This is what they propagated to the world. The Congress party's obsession with the power is what led it to become the midwife of extremism and terrorism in Punjab. So when KPS Gill says Sikhs are the terrorists, he actually is the one who terrorized the Sikhs. And this is what the world was reporting until they hired something called Rediff out of Bombay to create a PR campaign to malign the Sikhs worldwide in 84 and 85. And after that, the press reportings changed. Because see, this is a propaganda war. If you don't put out your press release, which nothing has happened in 2 weeks since General Barar's incident, they have put out 3 stories and they're all conflicting. But no Sikh organization here has done this. This is why we are suffering. You gotta tell your story. Otherwise, and so what are the features of Dharm Yudh Morcha? It continued for 2 years, roughly, largely non-violent. And look at the number of arrests. Almost 200,000. 2 lakh banda jailan vich dag ditta gaya. And government says we are violent. This is the history. This is what they agree to. But they don't want you to know this stuff. 84 to pehla ye chal raha hai. Zabardast ladai hai economic and political issues pe. And ode vichon ki hega, they include women and children who are arrested. Jails are packed, they are overflowed. Government actually used some of the schools to put people in jail, or house arrest they call them at the time. And what happens, this is the time This is not an ordinary time, guys. This is not that the unemployed youth joined the movement. This is what government says. This is when the professionals, the generals of the Indian Army, the IAS officers, the IPS officers, the professors, when Jathedar Jarnail Singh Pindrawala called a meeting at Akal Takht, they all showed up. This is leadership. Everyone showing up. They didn't care koi shahri si, koi pendu si, koi padha likha si, koi unpad si, koi sarkari si, koi gair sarkari si. They all showed up because this was going on. They're like, we have tried everything. What do we do now? We got to protect our own systems. And Sikhs always get together at Akal Takht. The government says, why did you do it at Akal Takht? Well, where else are we supposed to go? To Red Fort? We always go to Akal Takht. When we had to free our Gurdwaras, we started Jathas at Akal Takht. When Guru Hargobind Pasha was saying, bring me horses and weapons, it was at Akal Takht. When we had to start a procession to fight to free India, Baba Khadak Singh started at Akal Takht. This is where we always go. Perhaps this is the reason after 1995, governments and the powers among the Sikhs who are controlling us, they're making sure you don't get to Akal Takht. Because something happens when Sikhs gather there. Even when they gathered there, after they had outlawed the Sarbat Khalsa in 80s, hundreds and thousands of Sikhs still showed up. Just like in 80s when they said, Section 144 was implemented, Sikhs were still going. Okay, you know what happened. I'm gonna finish it very quickly here. What happened after that, you know the details. If you don't, check out the table, check out the promo material developed by NYSF. There were genocidal campaigns. This is where the old Shankaracharya Soch comes back, where he says, "Pehle Shastra se maro, bach jaye to Shastra se maro." This is where Lieutenant General S.K. Sinha must be cited every time we talk about 84, where he says, "I was given order by Mrs. Gandhi's office, PMO, which is Prime Minister's office, 16 to 18 months in advance to prepare the replicas in the Chakrata Valley and Doon Valley to figure out how to do the maximum number of damage." This is the reality of 82 to 84. And this is the same general who refuses to go do it because he said, "I took the oath to fight an enemy, not kill my own citizens." He refused. This is when they brought the other sycophants like Barars, and the Dayals, and the Vaidyas, and the Sundarjis. Because the real general refused to do it. So there are some people, we should salute them too. He refused to do it. He's a tall man, he's still alive, they can't touch him. This guy is a guy, he's been invited by UN in 60s to play the peace missions in Kashmir, so he had a record that he does the right stuff. When he was asked to do nonsensical stuff, he prepared because that's his job. He refused to implement. He said, in fact, he went on TV on Day and Night a few months ago and he said, "I actually as a civilian went to PMO's office and said, I will do a meeting with you and the CM of Punjab and the Sikh demands. There is no police action needed. There is no army action needed. You are doing this intentionally." He's on record saying this. ਅਸੀਂ ਹੋਰ ਪੰਬਲਪੁਰ ਸੇ ਫਸੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਜੀ ਦਰਬਾਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਧਰ ਲਾਈ ਕਿਉਂ ਹੋਈ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਹੁੰਦੀ we have to defend it. So the point is, you know what happened. Blue Star is not us. We have Battle of Amritsar there. We have had several battles of Amritsar. We had another one. This is what Afzal Ahsan Randhawa, he wrote a beautiful poem in Punjabi called Odak Mukegi Eh Raat. He explains what happened in 84 in his own way. He says, don't think this was a single event. He says, if you want to understand what happened in 1934, this is the phrase he uses. He says, you have to understand it from Guru Nanak's time, because Guru Nanak started this kind of stuff. And then he said, if you want to understand Pindrawala, he uses a phrase, "Ode dil te rata mahal." Kyun? Kehne jide under o jarnaila da jarnail. Where the decorated generals of the Indian Army who came and served under him, he was not an ordinary guy. And we should be careful on how we present it. Very careful. Just like with Banda Singh Bahadur as well. They are not ordinary people. They know what they are doing. We should watch out for the character assassination we keep doing and the government keeps doing against him. So my point is, there were several operations like these, what we call today genocidal campaigns. You know about Woodrose, and there were several others. Black Thunder happened in the 80s. So between 84 and roughly 91, 92 area, there were several of these things going on. The question is, it's 2012. This is the 30th year of Taramjid Morcha's anniversary. Cyclical trend in the Sikh Panth is every 30 years there is a movement. Yeah, Whether you like it or not, look at it. Here is a rough chronology if you want to look at it. And every movement, people at the time, including some of the Sikhs, did not like it. Governments definitely did not like them. But every single movement, after 50 years or so, we salute them. So, Ajay, 30 saal hoye ne. Question is this: where is your spring? Where is the Khalsa spring? What movement are you going to start? Because Sikh's job is to keep fighting for rights. Sikh's job is, in fact, I would submit to you, if we are not being hunted today, we are not fighting for any rights. Because that's our history. We've always been hunted. Mughals hunted us, British hunted us, Hindu chief Rajas hunted us. I mean, it doesn't matter the religion and the government. Indian government hunts us. They have put us around the world. We pay, pehla bhi paye si. Now thoda different tarika ho gaya. Now they do hijacking of our institutions. And they issue hukumnamas which will confuse us rather than direct us. Question is, this is your time now. Your grandchildren will ask you, if you are below the age of 40, you better start thinking about this stuff. You will be asked, what did you do at this moment? It's almost 30 years. Punjabi Suba 60s ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋਇਆ, 80s 90s ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ, ਹੁਣ 2012 ਆ ਗਿਆ, ਦੱਸੋ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ? And don't complain, the government is so strong, we don't have the funding, we don't have the manpower, we have everything. We have never had those things. We always had only the Guru. And what that really means is that we don't have a relationship with the Guru. ਜਿਵੇਂ Guru Arjan Sahib ਦੇ ਸ਼ਬਦਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਨੋਟ ਕਰਾਂ, he says, ਮਿੱਤਰ ਪਿਆਰਾ ਨਾਨਕ ਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਛੱਡ ਗਵਾਇਆ ਰੰਗ ਕੁਸੁੰਬੇ ਭੁੱਲੀ. Temporary opportunities to capture currently, I have given up my relationship with the Guru. That's what he's saying. He says, when I give up my relationship with the Guru, nobody values me. And that's what's going on with us. We say, so my submission to you is, this is time to get revived again. This is our time. We better figure out which right. Don't ask an individual, please never ask an individual. Please don't even ask organizations. Gurbani कहती है कि तुरदे को तुरदा मिले बुए को बुआ. तुसी जिद्दां दे होगे उन्हां नाल लभना होगा. जे नहीं लभ पा रहे हो आप भी किते मरे ना होइए ऐसे. Figure out which right you want to fight for. I listed those 10 things in the Guru period: health rights, human rights, education right, women right, minority rights. Pick a battle. And if you are ready to fight a battle for Punjab's issues, how to deal with Badapind issues, Kulbir Singh's issues, Bittu's issues, Rajwana issue, whatever it is, I know there's a politics involved with all those, there are so many game things going on. You got to work at it, that's what it means. You cannot just sit still. And what the idea was to present 82 to 80 complicated. It's nasty. You got to get your hands dirty. You can't sit on the side and say, yaar, main hi kuch karna ba sab kuch theek ho jaye, kuch theek nahi hota. Guru Amardas Pasha nu bhi hune Guru Ramdas Pasha de nikna is karke main gal kar raha, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ, ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ. Your hands have to be dirty, that's when things get done. And then eventually they are clean. It's between you and Guru. And I'm going to end it here. This is Professor Puran Singh's quote, where he says, liberty is the breath of true culture. Sikhs raised by the Guru fought for freedom. They were defeated, they will be defeated again. All attempts at liberty generally end in defeat, but their very fighting for liberty is the mark of the new soul consciousness that the Guru had awakened in them. Har jana te har man learn li do vakhriyan cheezan. He says, look at the freedom throughout the world. Kinne lakh banda kithe nahi mar rahe. He says what Guru had done to the Sikhs was, you don't have an option. Especially if you have taken Amrit, you actually have zero option. That's what that means. Because Amrit is a commitment that I belong to Guru Gobind Singh, I belong to Mata Sahib Kaur, my pind is Anandpur, and I am here to fight for people's rights. You are a full-time revolutionary. But Amritari ladi jande hain ki part kinne karne hain. Ithe phas gaya sir. Never in the history we saw this. We must do part. I must do Simran. I must do my Kirtan. Yeah, this is to strengthen me. What are you going to do for people is based on level of strength, your connection you have with Guru. That connection is utmostly important because Guru said, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਧਨਾ ਹੈਗੀ, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਗਿਆਨ, ਧਿਆਨ ਤੇ ਕਰਮ, ਇਹੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ। ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਹੀ ਫਸੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਪਤਾ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਵੱਡਾ। So which means what? It doesn't matter level of knowledge you have. It doesn't matter. Don't get caught up in this Hindu karmic theory कि मेरे कर्मा जी नहीं लिखा आया शायद। Guru doesn't even believe in this. He's saying it himself. He says मैं नहीं जानता ये चीज़ों बारे, मैंने ध्यान का भी नहीं पता। Don't worry about this meditation poses. कोई कहता है इन्हीं बारे बोलो ये करो। It's confusion. There is no prescription in Gurbani about these things, but there is prescription. You all belong to your Guru. जब वो declaration होती है ना अंदरों ते बाहरों, अंदरों निर्मल बाहरों निर्मल दोनों, get rid of that लड़ाई की सिर्फ अंदरों करना सिर्फ बाहरों। That's part of the problem. It's both. बहरूपिया बनना भी सौखा, ते गुरु ਨੂੰ ਛੱਡ ਜਾਣਾ भी सौखा. This is the new Vedanta. Commitment only you know, and that connection will decide whether you can fight for liberties. So Karam Yudh Morcha is a movement within a movement. Karam Yudh Morcha is part of the larger movement of what I will call Khadku Lahar. The new Lahar needs to get started. Call it whatever, labels don't matter at the end of the day. The deeds get recorded. Whether you live the Guru's lifestyle, whether you are the flag bearers of what Khalsa used to do. ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਧੀਆਂ ਭੈਣਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਚਾ ਪਾ ਰਹੇ, ਅਬਦਾਲੀ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਿੰਦੂਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਛੁਡਾ ਕੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਗੇ। ਉਹ ਜੇ ਹਿੰਦੀ ਦੀ ਫਰੇਜ਼ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਨੰਗਾ ਕਿਆ ਨਹਾਏਗਾ ਕਿਆ ਨਿਚੋੜੇਗਾ। This is why in Ardas ਪੰਥ ਕੀ ਜੀਤ comes in the 5th paragraph, ਸਰਬੱਤ ਦਾ ਭਲਾ ਐਂਡ ਤੇ ਆਉਂਦਾ। ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਸਰਬੱਤ ਦੇ ਭਲੇ ਚ ਲੱਗੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ। You cannot do ਭਲਾ if you yourself are not strong. This is why you have to strengthen your institutions. Every single Guru, before they fought for those rights, they developed institutions to fight for those rights. This is what Panth Ki Jeet means. It's not just a phrase. And I'll end with that phrase. That phrase was established by Banda Singh Bahadur. And that phrase is Deg Deg Fateh. It's a part of larger couplet in Persian. And even if we understand those two words, we'll know what to do. Deg is not what we take as a prashad. It comes from Dega. You know, it's a big place. Jithe langar vade banaye jande si, utthe use hunda si. Deg means food. Teg means economic rights. Teg is, you know what Teg is? Kirpan. It means political rights. So victory occurs when you have established economic and political rights. Now go to that Guardian Code. Akalis want to focus on economic and political rights. Government wants to make it a religious issue. You see how they were clever? We have to be careful. This is not a religious issue for us. This is economic and political issue. It has always been from Guru period, and today it remains that the whole world is going through economic and political issues. And we should be clear, we are fighting for economic freedom, we are fighting for political freedom. If the Punjabis need it, we'll do it for them. Tomorrow, if Bosnians need it, if in Darfur it's needed, we should be ready for all of them. This is what Khalsa's role is. We want everyone to be free. And I'll end with, Azadi de utte gal kar liye ki inni gallan ho gayi, liberty di gal aa gayi si. इकबाल का एक शेयर हैगा, ये मैं इन्हें उर्दू ची गल करनी पैनी है, and I'm sharing this because this is about you and me now. बड़ी गल्लां हो गई गुरबाणी दे इतिहास दियां, now it's relevance to you and me. He says, what's the difference between a slave and a free person? He says, महकूम को यही तरबियत अच्छी है, मौसीकी और सूरतगरी और इल्मे नबातात। कहना जेड़ा slave बंदा ना, enslaved mentality. What do they like? थोड़ा जिहा चंगा म्यूजिक होवे, थोड़ी जी चंगी आर्ट होवे, तो थोड़े दा चंगा लिटरेचर, ज़्यादा भी नहीं, थोड़ा थोड़ा। ਆਪਾਂ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਵੀ ਹੋਣਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਮੈਂ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਸੁਣਨਾ, ਯਾਰ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਖ ਬਣਾ ਦਿਓ, ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਚੰਗਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਬਣਨ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਏ ਫਿਰ ਡਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਯਾਰ ਇਹ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਬਣ ਰਿਹਾ। ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਬਣੂ ਉਹ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਹੋ ਜੂ। That's what it means. So we want little bit, just politically correct stuff, not things which will change policies. And this is what Iqbal is writing. He says, people who demand these thoda thoda, they are the ones who are enslaved. He says, what do they like? And this is about you and me. He says, what do they like? They say, महकूम को पीरों की करामात का सौदा। कहना कोई आके कोई करामात दिखावे. Something fascinating. He says, fascination is for slaves. And सिक्खी विच करामात की है, गुरु रामदास पातशाह ने दस्सिया, पूरी होई करामात उत्थे लिखिया, जिथे एक orphan, जिथे एक blue collar worker became the uncontested leader of the Sikh nation. We call him Guru Ramdas. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਰਾਜਯੋਗ, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਡਿਸਟੋਰਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ। ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਰੂਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਸਿੱਖਣਾ, ਹੀ ਬਿਕੇਮ ਅ ਪੋਲੀਟੀਕਲ ਲੀਡਰ ਆਫ ਦ ਸਿਕਸ ਅਗੇਂਸਟ ਦ ਬਾਬਰ ਕਿੰਗ। ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਰੂਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਸਿੱਖਣਾ, ਉਹਦਾ ਇਹ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ ਰਾਜ ਦਾ। ਜੱਜੇ ਥੱਲੇ ਔਂਕੜ ਲੱਗਿਆ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆਮ ਰੂਲ ਨਾ ਲੈ ਲਿਓ। ਯੋਗ ਥੱਲੇ ਵੀ ਔਂਕੜ ਲੱਗਿਆ, ਉਹ ਯੋਗਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਣਾ ਛੱਡਿਆ ਉਹਦਾ, ਉਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਰਾਜ ਯੋਗ, ਜੋ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਮੰਨਿਆ। ਉਸੇ ਭੱਟਾ ਦੇ ਸਵੀਏ 'ਚ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਸਿੱਖਣਾ ਕਿ ਰੱਬ ਨਾਲ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਜੁੜਨਾ, ਯੋਗ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਤੇ ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਸਿੱਖਣਾ ਕਿ ਰੂਲਰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਬਣਨਾ, ਉਹ ਦੇਖੇ ਲਾਈਫ ਪਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦੀ। ਇਹ ਆ ਕਰਾਮਾਤ ਸਾਡੀ। ਵੀ ਡੋਂਟ ਬਲੀਵ ਇਨ ਮੈਜਿਕ ਐਂਡ ਫੈਸੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ, ਵੀ ਡੂ ਮੈਜੀਕਲ ਥਿੰਗਸ। ਤੇ ਐਂਡ ਦੀ ਲਾਈਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਕਬਾਲ ਦੀ ਹੈ, ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਫਿਰ ਵਾਟ ਡੂ ਦ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਪਰਸਨ ਲਾਈਕ, this is what he writes. He says, है आजाद बंदा खुद एक जिंदा करामात. So if you want to be free, you do those things which nobody is doing. You fight to make what is illegal today to become legal tomorrow. इन्ना शब्दां नाल दास के मादा जा चुका। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा।